My exhortation to you last time was to beware of the robots, and this will be part 2, as I promised, and probably, hopefully, the last part for now. And I'm going to tell you today to not be a robot. So you were exhorted to beware the robots. Today I'm exhorting you, don't be a robot. Do not be a robot. And what I mean by that, I hope will be clear after I point out a few examples of what distinguishes humans made in the image of God from robots. And as we are kind of in the grips of Pride Month this month, not that we celebrate that or recognize it in any way, but it's going on around us, I think, like I said last time, the new frontier of finding your identity in something other than being made in the image of God has to do with artificial intelligence and this new technocracy that kind of has a lot of control over our lives. The absurdity of Pride Month will someday, I predict, be matched by the absurdity of Robots' Rights Month or something like that. And people will take they won't laugh you out of the room if you have an idea for something like a robot dating site, because they will not be able to tell the difference between humans and robots. So what is AI? It's a technology that enables computers to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence. Basically, it is making computers act like humans. And what it ends up doing is it makes humans, as these computers take over more responsibility from our lives, it ends up making humans act more like computers or more like robots. The dream for these people who see this as the future of humanity is to achieve what they call AGI, and that is that AI can learn and solve problems just like a person can. So and that's purposely vague because they can't really define what it means, but it does require that you believe in materialism, because with robots, there's nobody home. There's no soul. It's just a computer. And they are good at computing, and we ought to use them for computing purposes to the glory of God, because it is God's work in history that brought them about. So I was thinking about this this week and ended up using ChatGPT to come up with different funny names. When I was thinking about what it means to be a human, I remembered when I was a kid and I was at the pool, they used to announce over the loudspeaker, this is kind of outdated, but they used to announce, Jovi Gelbald, there's a phone call for you. Please come to the front desk. Your mom's calling, or something like that. And then one day, the announcer announced, there's a phone call for Ben Dover, phone call. And everybody started laughing because it was clearly a prank phone call. Ben Dover, do you get it? So I was thinking, could we use AI? A good use of AI might be to come up with these kinds of names. Okay, so I plan on, when I'm at work and my kids are at the pool this summer, trying to get them to announce Anita Tan, or Ben Tanner, something like that, or Summer Burns. If it's raining, maybe Noah Rain or Mo Rain, or if it's really cold water, Cole Waters. ChatGPT came up with that. I thought there were some good, but I think that humans might be able to come up with better jokes. And the act of actually making a prank phone call, so I'm going to tell you the difference between robots and humans by example. Robots don't make prank phone calls because it's pointless. You don't even really get to hear them announce it over the loudspeaker as the prank phone caller. It's just kind of like, that's really funny. I'm going to do it for no reason. It's pointless. Robots don't do stuff like that. They don't exult in monotony like that. So the act of a harmless prank phone call like that is a very human thing that we can use even AI to help us with. So here's another example of how we can learn how to not be a robot. So robots don't make prank phone calls. Also, robots don't write psalms like Psalm 23. So I had the robot try to write me a psalm, its version of Psalm 23, and I'm going to tell you what it came up with. Here's what it came up with. When your road grows dim and steep, and burdens bend your weary frame, remember, even while you weep, You are not walking without name. By the way, I told it to give me a psalm that's going to be comforting for people as they walk through life, and this is what it gave me. Each step, though small, is still a sign that hope has not let go of you. The darkest path may yet refine a heart made patient, kind, and true. So breathe, press on, receive the day. Love walks beside you all the way. Is that comforting? Let's compare that to Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And amazing psalm. I know what you're probably thinking. These are Spirit-inspired words, not something we can really mimic. How does that tell us how to not be a robot? Well, I want to read to you what Henry Ward Beecher said about that psalm in The Treasury of David. He says, David has left no sweeter psalm than the short 23rd. It is but a moment's opening of his soul, but as one walking the winter street sees the door open for someone to enter, and the red light streams a moment forth, and the forms of gay children are running to greet the comer, the genial music sounds through the door, though the door shuts and leaves the night black. Yet it cannot shut back again all that the eyes, the ear, the heart, and the imagination have seen. So in this psalm, though it is but a moment's opening of the soul, are emitted tools of peace and consolation that will never be absent from the world. The 23rd psalm is the nightingale of the psalms. It is small, of a homely feather, singing shyly out of obscurity. But oh, it has filled the air of the whole world with melodious joy, greater than the heart can conceive. Blessed be the day on which that psalm was born. What would you say of a pilgrim commissioned of God, traveling up and down the earth, singing a strange melody, which when one heard, caused him to forget whatever sorrow he had? And so singing, the singing angel goes on his way through the lands, singing in the language of every nation, driving away trouble by the pulses of the air, which his tongue moves with divine power. Behold, just such a one. This pilgrim God has sent to speak in every language on the globe. It has charmed more griefs to rest than all the philosophy of the world. It has remanded their dungeon more felon thoughts, more black doubts, more thieving sorrows than there are sands on the seashore. It has comforted the noble host of the poor. It has sung courage to the army of the disappointed. It has poured calm and consolation into the heart of the sick, of captives in dungeons, of widows in the pinching griefs, of orphans in their loneliness. Dying soldiers have died easier as it was read to them. Ghastly hospitals have been illuminated. It has visited the prisoner and broken his chains, and like Peter's angel, led him forth in imagination and sung him back to his home again. It has made the dying Christian slave freer than his master, and consoled those whom, dying, he left behind mourning, not so much because he was gone as because they were left behind and could not go too. Nor is its work done. It will go singing to your children and my children and to their children through all the generations of time. Nor will it fold its wings until the last pilgrim is safe and time ended. And then it shall fly back to the bosom of God, whence it issued, and sound on, mingled with all those sounds of celestial joy, which make heaven musical forever. That's not written by a robot. A robot could never write that. Robots will never know what it's like to walk through the valley of the shadow of death. They'll never know what it's like to go outside on a sunny day. They'll never know what it's like to be in love. And what a blessing it is, I think we can say, to not be a robot. So let's repent now of failure to see it as a blessing. Kneel with me if you're able.